As the calendar flips to 2023, we are just 2 days away from the 118th U.S. Congress being sworn into office, with control of the Senate remaining in Democratic hands, but the House set to flip to Republicans, who will hold a slim majority. Washington correspondent Joe Khalil live for us now. And Joe, we know we have a divided Congress on our hands, but the question of who the next House Speaker will be still hanging in the balance. And you've learned that GOP House Leader Kevin McCarthy is prepared to make a major concession to potentially get over the finish line.
Yeah, Natasha, it's a big development that we just learned over the past hour or so. House Republican sources confirmed for us tonight that Leader Kevin McCarthy made a major concession, essentially agreeing on new rules in the next Congress that would allow just 5 members of the House at any point to call for a vote to remove the Speaker of the House. It's a big concession, one that Leader McCarthy himself said a couple of weeks ago he would never make. But at this point, he is still desperate to get the support from his own party to become Speaker of the House. And right now, even despite this concession, he still doesn't have it. So all of this happening just now in the last hour or so, on top of the fact that we're still trying to figure out who this next Congress is going to be, what they'll be about, and what they can accomplish.
The new Congress is sworn in this Tuesday. A Republican House and Democratic Senate means no one party can jam through any big priorities into law without at least some cooperation from the other side.
I don't think either party is going to be able to get anything that are out on the edges, but there'll be many, many things in the middle that we do together.
Congressman Don Byers says while there's sure to be some gridlock, there are areas both parties seem to want to work on together in the new year. Both parties largely support more aid to Ukraine, getting tougher on China over trade and national security, and it's possible to find support for addressing the migrant surge at the border, along with some immigration reform.
Mr. Pascal votes yes. Mr. Davis.
But we do expect plenty of fireworks and political fights. With their new majority, House Republicans have promised to launch new investigations into Hunter Biden, the troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, Dr. Fauci and the origins of COVID, and the southern border. Not to mention the intra-party battle for the gavel. Leader Kevin McCarthy still appears to be short of 218 votes he needs to become Speaker of the House.
He's done the hard work. He has the respect of people. Quite frankly, there's an inevitability that he will be the Speaker. So now it's time for those few holdouts to decide what is it that they really want.
While most Republicans, like Darrell Issa, say it's time to coalesce around McCarthy, the Republican leader isn't there yet. Of the 222 House Republicans, McCarthy can only afford to lose 4. And as of Sunday, at least 5 say they'll vote against him. If McCarthy isn't elected Speaker on that first round of voting, it'll be the first time since 1923 that's happened.
And off the top, Natasha, we talked about that major concession Leader McCarthy just made. There are others that House Republicans, some of them, a small group, are demanding of him. And it's not clear whether he's going to coalesce or whether he'll give in to those ones as well. One of them is they want more say in who gets to be on which committee. Right now, there's only a small group that gets to decide that. They want it to be broader. And there's also a demand for him to put legislation up for 72 hours, make it public before it gets a vote. His office seems to be more amenable to that one, but we will see once they come out with their official rules changes. For now, we know at least that one really big one. It seems like he is going to give in on that. Natasha.
All right, Joe Khalil live for us in D.C. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.